eyes. Where we're going, we don't need eyes.
Oh, I think you do, Sam Neill. I think you probably need those eyes. How do you get around the spaceship? That doesn't make any sense. Like they're just walking around, no eyes. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Also, those
Never mind the
questions.
fact that he just ripped off Bash the Future.
Right, right.
Hey guys, Drew here from Horror Sci-Fi Beyond, and we're here to review your winner or the winner in the poll that you guys voted on. It was between Event Horizon, TerraVision, and Beast of Yonvin Flat. That's the album.
Yucca
Right?
Flat. Yucca Flat. Beast of the Y Flats is what we'll call it.
Okay, we're just call it that then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you don't know what that means, is I basically created a huge list of like horror and sci-fi movies. And not that in every video we do, but on some of them, depending on how like we schedule out, different videos. Every once in a while we're gonna do a like a random name generator at the end of the video. And you guys get to pick the top 3 of those movies. So you guys voted, and we're doing Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. Would this have been a movie you would have picked on your own, Drew?
Probably.
Okay, all right, because you've never seen it before. This is your first experience.
Yeah, I never
on the
seen
Event
any of
Horizon.
the better movies either.
No, wait, there's more than one Event Horizon?
No, I didn't see the other ones on the poll.
Oh, gotcha. You haven't seen Beast of the Y Flats and
I have it
TerraVision.
on one of those 50 public domain packs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen them all. I will say this is probably the most fun of those 3.
Yeah.
I voted for this one. I was kind of glad this one got picked.
So before we get started on Event Horizon, how was your Halloween?
It's good. It was good. It was very low key. We had a couple trick-or-treaters come by, but we just watched what did we watch? We watched Quiet Place Part 2, which I hadn't seen yet.
I still need to watch both of them. I haven't seen them yet.
It's fun. It's not as neat. It's not everything's not tied up as nicely as the first one, but it was fun. A lot of
I haven't seen that one either.
Some cool scares. But yeah, that was about it. How was your Halloween?
I was pretty good. I watched Coco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Pixar movie, because that's set during the Dia de los Muertos. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead. Really fun Pixar movie. If you guys never seen it, probably one of my favorites. I mean, you can really call every Pixar movie their best movie.
Maybe Cars 2.
Yeah, or The Good Dinosaur. Was it the only one I have not seen?
I watched it kind of the other day. It's okay.
Well, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one, and then I didn't see Luca, the other one.
I haven't seen Luca yet either. Although I've heard good things.
Yeah, but then I watched Frederick March's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was really good. What else did I watch? I mean, Halloween I watched, obviously. I watched the Disney version of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, nice. The cartoon version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched Trick or Treat.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not even kidding. My mom stayed in the mood for the most part. She was not impressed at all. And as soon as like the werewolf scene came in, it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
Oh no!
Like, why not?
I like Trick or Treat. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's probably my favorite movie of that decade, or favorite horror movie of that decade.
Okay.
I don't know. And then I watched the Lego Star Wars Halloween special thingy.
You watched all this on Halloween night?
Yeah. No, on Halloween day.
Night. Oh, okay. Just throughout the day. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, well, with the Sleepy Hollow one, of course, there. If you didn't know, it was part of Disney's package film era, where there's like different
Hmm.
segments because they're trying to be cost efficient because they're in. We were in World War II at the time,
Right.
and this one had like the Mr. Toad one. I can't remember what the story was called, but it was like it's on the tip of my tongue. I know it.
You talking about what the original Sleepy Hollow is?
No,
The
because
Ichabod Crane.
they're like the Sleepy Hollow segment at the end, but before that,
Hmm.
they're like the Mr.
Oh,
Toad story.
oh, what the entire like whole series is called?
Yeah, I don't know what that story was called with Mr. Toad in
Uh,
it.
uh,
Because
yeah,
the
I can't
whole
remember
movie is
either off
called
the top of my head.
Crane and Mr. Toad.
Right, right. I
But
don't know. I'm sure someone in the chat will put it in there for us.
yeah, but
Thanks,
anyways,
chat.
yeah, real quick, what kind of horror and sci-fi movies you been watching?
I have been
Just the highlights.
watching. Yeah, yeah. So I'm about halfway through with Midnight Mass.
I think it's
Pretty
so
good.
long.
I don't know. I've just been putting it off, and then I've been slowly eking my way through it. So I'm about halfway through. Episode 5 is really good, but I still got 2 more to go.
Yeah, I
What
love
else?
that
What else have I
series.
been watching?
I
Um,
gotta play that Priest. He's amazing.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I feel like I've seen him in something else recently, and I can't remember what it is. Um,
Yeah, I hope
what
he
else? I
gets
watched.
nominated for an Emmy. Or no,
Yeah.
it was a Grammy for TV, right? No, or
Yeah, it could be up for Emmys or Golden Globes or one of those, whatever. As long as
yeah,
it's television. What else I watched? I watched Dune. I watched the new Dune.
yeah, that was really good, surprisingly.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
It
It's
ended in a weird
probably
spot.
how's that?
I don't know. I felt like once Oscar Isaac died and
Hmm.
Aquaman died,
Hmm.
and then Lady Jessica and Paul or Peter, whatever his name is. Yeah, the
Paul,
most
yeah,
un-sci-fi names ever.
right.
When they landed on that planet or whatever, or the other part of Arrakis, I felt like
Hmm.
that could have been the end of the movie.
Mm.
But there's like
Mm.
20 more minutes to go when
Oh
they're
yeah,
meeting up those other people. I think that should have been the beginning of the next movie when they met those
that's
people.
fair. I mean, I think it wraps up fairly nicely in this one. I will say this is probably the best adaptation of the book.
And I want to know.
Um, but it plays it. It's all very safe for the most part. Like it doesn't really take any weird risks like the Lynch version does, and the Lynch version is not good by any stretch of the imagination. But there is just a lot of weirdness to it that I enjoyed. I think this one wraps up fairly nicely. Probably the best version of it. And the craziest thing is I didn't know how they were going to do it. So like the book is littered with just voiceover narration from every character. So every character has like a vehicle, like an inner monologue. And you learn so much about like the backstories and how everything is. And they clear up some of that with just like some of those learning lessons that Paul is taking in the story. They do a really good job of like streamlining the story with this one, and the visuals are like amazing. Like all of the production design looks awesome. In fact, I would just like to look at it. It's great.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. The
You've been
only
watching.
problem that I really had with it was I wish they would explain the spice more.
Hmm.
Because they kind of said it was kind of important for space travel, but like, how was it important for space travel?
They didn't really ever go into that. I think they may go into more detail in the book, but it's never like a big thing. I mean, it's just like a MacGuffin. It's just the thing that everybody wants that it's always out there. That doesn't really play into sort of like the plot as much as just like that's what everyone wants to get their hands on. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like a
there's
MacGuffin.
yeah,
And sometimes MacGuffins aren't like that important. Just the fact that it's something that the characters need.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else? Oh yeah. We when you're done with your list.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think that's about it. I'm sure there's something else in there I watched, but I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I watched last night in Soho.
Oh, how was
Yeah.
that? Edgar Wright.
It was really good. It was actually probably my favorite
Okay.
movie of the year so far.
All right.
Yeah, I
Okay. I
know a
need to
lot of
watch it.
people are not liking it because of the end, but I didn't
I've heard
actually
that.
mind the end. There's one moment in the end that
Hmm.
like it's hard to say without like ruining the whole movie or
Okay.
all the movie, but like it kind of turned me off a bit.
Okay. All right.
I'm like, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
watch
about
it. I'll watch it at some point. Don't ruin it.
yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Like, I watched Wheezy Origin of Evil.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah.
a
I haven't
prequel.
watched any of the Ouija movies. I didn't know it was a thing until recently.
Yeah, watch the second one.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about the second one.
Or the
I
prequel.
haven't heard good things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Mike Flanagan, so like, it's gonna be good.
Right.
I think it's my least favorite Mike Flanagan thing I've seen him, but like the
Hmm.
fact that like it was really good and it's like my least favorite thing that he's done, like really says
Right.
something there.
Yeah, for sure.
I watched House of the Devil.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Thai I forget his last name now.
yeah. I don't know who directed it. I
Ty
know
West.
Greta
Ty
Gerwig
West,
was in
yeah.
it.
Yes. It's Ty West. He made The Innkeepers and he made The Sacrament. He made a couple other indie horror movies. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
cool.
House of the Devil. Full on slow burn like type movie. Like really just taking its time getting to that last like 30 minutes.
Yeah, did it in some aspects didn't remind you of Mario Bava's Black Sabbath a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like a giallo sort of inspired like 70s throwback.
Yeah. Well, and
There's some
also with Black Sabbath, the first two segments were, or even the first one was like that detective crime scene
hmm
investigation like lady basically just going
hmm
around the house like doing stuff, and that's kind
right,
of like how House of the Devil felt. I
of
like how
course,
they made
yeah.
it feel like an '80s movie or a '70s movie, but the thing about it was the acting wasn't very '80s or '70s.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
it
if you're
doesn't.
gonna go through that much trouble, make the direct the actors to act like that kind of low budget.
Yeah, I agree. I think the performances were better than a lot of like schlocky 70s movies. But at the
But
same
I
time,
didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be that kind of quality since you're gonna go through that much
I don't
effort.
know. I get where they were coming with it. Like they wanted that aesthetic without sort of the pitfalls that kind of came with a
Yeah.
a poorly acted Italian. I mean, if they were going to go that far, they should have just dubbed it poorly, and then they really could have had like a Lucio Fulci like
Mhm.
full on like terrible like 70s Italian horror movie.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get on to Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the movie? Or like your overall
Uh,
thoughts on how do you find out about it?
okay, so I saw this movie in the 90s when it came out. I either rented it on VHS or it came on like HBO or something like that. And I'd known I knew a lot of the actors had been in other things since before then. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in Apocalypse Now. He was Cowboy Curtis on Pee Wee's Playhouse. And so and Sam Neill's in Jurassic Park. And so like yeah, I already kind of knew like the performers that were in it, but I didn't really know what I was getting into other than just like haunted house movie in space. And I remember really liking it in the 90s, but I have not seen it since then. And so like going back and revisiting it now was very interesting. Parts of it hold up pretty well. Some of the visual effects for the most part hold up really well. And the 90s was not great for visual effects. I mean, there's a lot of like liquid effects in the movie that look terrible.
Yeah, especially after
But
Jurassic Park.
yeah,
That
but
was the
no,
gold standard for a while.
oh yeah. But there's parts of the movie hold up really well. Parts of it are really laughable. Parts of it are just kind of fun in being that sort of like silly sort of haunted house in space movie. I don't outright hate it, but I don't know if it's a movie I'm just going to watch again anytime soon, just for the fun of it. I don't know. What were your thoughts?
I liked it. It was pretty fun. You definitely tell it was trying to be Alien a
Mhm.
lot.
Oh, it's definitely wearing like all of its inspiration on its sleeve, like
Right.
so many different, just cribbing from here and there, grabbing all the good
Well,
stuff.
and that's the thing about it is like Hollywood always like that. Like they see one thing that was successful, like see like a Die Hard, and then they want to do like 50 million Die Hard, like Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a bus.
Speed, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, and they never actually turned out to be better or even at the same level as the original thing that
right,
you're
right.
trying to bank off of. Same thing here. It was trying to be Alien so bad, and I think like for years, like even now, like I think people are trying to capture the magic of Alien.
Right. I mean, Ridley Scott keeps making Alien sequels and never
Yeah,
can really
well,
get back
I mean,
to it.
like, and there's even that one movie that came out earlier last year called Underwater with Kirsten Stewart.
Stewart. Hmm.
Yeah, I tried to watch that. I could not get into it at all.
I haven't seen it, but there was another movie a few years ago called Life with
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds in it. That's kind of same sort of like alien organism in space. But yeah, no, like I agree. I think a lot of movies, especially if you're doing like a horror movie in space, you're always going to compare that like gold standard of like Alien.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the deep dive a little bit.
All right.
All right. So the movie starts out, there's like text on screen, and it kind of sets up like what's going on.
Hmm.
So the first thing we see is that in 19 oh not 19 2015 was the first time we actually learned how to colonize the moon.
Right.
Um 2020 or 2032 was the first commercial mining um like mission on Mars.
Hmm.
Because we figure out a way to get to Mars.
Of course.
Yeah. Um and then here's the main meat of it. In 2040, there was a vessel called the Event Horizon sent out to explore the boundaries of space, and it just mysteriously disappeared. And we
Right.
learn more about that later. Um,
Which
but
they
then
do
it
all
cut.
these titles and like these come back up. These have no bearing on the rest of the movie. Like you're 10 minutes in and they already start talking about like the event horizon disappeared, now it's back. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
like I don't even know if they needed these opening titles at the end of the day.
yeah, like, well, I think the first two like kind of set up everything. Like, I kind
I
of like the
guess.
world
I
that we're
mean,
living in.
right.
But I think they could have maybe explored those two ideas a little bit better.
Right.
Maybe
Right. Like
because
what do
of
these
that,
guys
it
do?
led to this.
Right. Right. I mean, what do these guys do on normally? Like they're not military. They're not like space truckers like Alien.
Mm.
They got pulled off a leave to get back on the ship to go escort Sam Neill across the galaxy. But like I don't know what they do normally. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I
Like
didn't
are
know
they
that.
the miners? Yeah. I mean that's like the whole setup for them is like they don't want to be there because they weren't. This was
Ah,
like a last
I
minute
didn't catch
mission
that
for them.
part.
Right. So like but I don't know. I have no idea what their normal tasks are other than being like a chauffeur to Sam Neill for this movie.
Mm. Yeah, and then it cut to 7 years later. We're introduced. We see another ship. And then we go into the ship. It's like a search and rescue ship called the Lewis and Clark. Um, and they're trying to basically kind of figure out what happened to the Event Horizon. We go into the ship, and they're like the shittiest CGI effects, like stuff floating around. It's really
Oh yeah.
bad.
Oh, it's real bad. Like there's some visual effects in the movie that hold up really well, but all that stuff floating around space doesn't look good. Especially that first shot of it
Oh yeah.
before they come into the ship looks.
We froze it up.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
are.
we froze it up.
Whoop.
And it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we're introduced to Sam Neill's character who has pictures of his wife. So like there's the implication that something may happen to her, or like he's been away for so long that he's missing her or something. You're not really I'm sure.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And then like this is when like the movie starts to feel like aliens a little bit, because you have like the music is very reminiscent to like Jerry Goldsmith's music. All the whole crew member is in cryo sleep or hyper sleep. I don't really know what the difference of that is.
Right. I mean, they're technically getting like they're in like the Luke Skywalker when he's getting rehabilitated in Empire. Like they're putting him into this sort of like liquid chamber.
Maybe that's
like
the difference.
Cryo.
Cryo and hyper.
I don't know. I think they're just making it up and like this would look cool if we put them in water and put like a tube on them.
Yeah, cause maybe like cryo, maybe I'm thinking like since they're asleep for so long, they're not getting enough water in them. Maybe like by putting them in water, like and then they have like a tube attached to the mask.
Yeah. So they've got like some sort of breathing apparatus on.
Yeah, so maybe like the water's getting sucked through the tube, so their body can. I don't know.
I don't know if they thought it through that much. I mean, this is the director of such classic movies as Mortal Kombat, the 1995 version.
Mortal Kombat!
Right? So he's hot off of that coming into this movie. So I don't know if he's not really the Ridley Scott of the 90s, if that makes any sense.
And he did Resident Evil.
And he did the original Resident Evil. And he did a lot of the sequels.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many of those, or any of those.
I've seen like maybe the first couple, but there's like 5 or 6 of them. I gave up after a while.
Yeah. They're making a new one. They're coming out with a new one, which I'm really looking forward to.
Raccoon City, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna take it back to the original where they're in that mansion. And again, I don't know really hardly anything about. I know like pieces of it, but anyways, off topic. Sam Neill wakes up from cryo sleep abruptly, and he starts hearing voices, and he sees a vision of his wife.
So the question is, hot take, real quick. So, did Sam Neill bring the evil to the ship? Is he what like? Because it didn't do anything before. Technically, before they showed up, it was just sitting out there chilling.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Lewis Clark, right?
And I'm talking like to the event horizon. Like I know they unlock a portal to supposedly hell, but was Sam Neill the key that unlocked it all? Because he immediately just turns like later on. Spoilers, everyone. Sam Neill turns evil and tries to kill everyone on the ship.
I don't know
doesn't make any
because like
sense.
he's technically the good guy.
Is he though?
Yeah, but like he's not really doing anything bad I mean, yeah, he still wants to be on the event horizon to figure out what's going on, but I think
that's his baby,
because like the person that designed this, I think it was more like he felt obligated to be back on there.
Or did he make the event horizon to travel to hell to find his wife because she committed suicide?
I didn't think about that.
I don't know. That's just a thought. I don't think anybody else thought about this. I don't think the filmmakers thought about that line through.
Well, this is a pretty old movie, so I mean, maybe.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Maybe it could have been like a Dante's Inferno kind of thing.
Maybe so.
Yep. Yeah, because that would have been. Yeah, well, we can talk about this later, but they were remade.
Yeah, we'll get into it later once we.
They were remade.
Way ahead of us.
You can go off that idea of like he's trying to find his wife in hell, and you can do like the 7 circles of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall into purgatory and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because technically, that's where she would end up as a suicide.
Yeah, it was finally the Dante Inferno movie we've been waiting for because it's in space.
Dante Inferno in space.
Yeah, better than
Sells
Macbeth in
itself.
space.
Yeah. I don't know. Macbeth in space sounds kind of awesome too.
Yeah. If you didn't get my references from Jimmy Neutron, there was an episode when their school play was on Macbeth in space.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that show or not.
I have, but just the bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah,
Like, I haven't watched it.
That's probably a little bit past your time.
Maybe so.
Yeah, because I was like in the 2000s. But anyways. So we learned
way off topic.
So we learned that the Lewis and Clark was sent to rescue the Event Horizon. We learned that Sam Neill's character, Dr. Weir, designed the horizon to full space and time in order to travel long distances, like travel through light years.
Fold space and time, which Christopher Nolan just stole from this movie whenever he did Interstellar. They do the exact same analogy. Yeah, the exact same analogy with taking a piece of paper and folding it and then poking a pin through it.
Yeah,
like the exact same analogy.
That's the thing about like sci-fi, and I love sci-fi. Some sci-fi, not all, but all the ones I've seen kind of get into more like the sciencey kind of stuff. And I like science when it's explained in a cool way. Like going back to Interstellar, comparing that to like say like The Martian that came out a year later. Yeah, to me, Interstellar is basically you sitting in like a really nice university like Harvard or wherever the hell, and like it's just like this really boring professor, and he's like, space time is blah blah blah, black holes or blah blah blah. That's how what Interstellar felt like to me. But what The Martian felt like to me, it felt like more like you're in a bar with your friend who's a big science, he knew all about science. Right. He's kind of explaining science stuff to you in a fun way.
Of course. I mean, those are different. And I guess it comes back down to the styles of the director too. And I think Ridley Scott's probably a more fun director than Christopher Nolan, who kind of just, for better or worse, does some really interesting stuff. Very heady, though. All of it's very, very heady.
Denis Villeneuve,
same
like
analogy.
that.
Huh?
Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah. I will say
very Christopher Nolan-y.
Yeah. I
to the point where they got Hans Zimmer and he came in here like, what the fuck, and he by saying he's part of the movie. It's so loud.
I will say I think Dune is my least favorite Denis Villeneuve movie though.
Oh, Dune? I only seen like 3 of his movies. And my favorite probably Prisoners.
Prisoners is great. Arrival's good. Blade Runner 49. As far as like a movie that's been long,
I need to watch it eventually because I keep falling asleep during the original Blade Runner.
Well, you probably will fall asleep during 2049 too, because it is almost 40 minutes longer.
What?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It is way too long. It probably could have been an easy 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Really?
There's some sections in it that just go on for way too long. But it's great. It's
yeah. I mean,
it's worth a watch.
I do love Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I remember
they do a lot of fun things.
And I'm like, man, he looked a lot like Harrison Ford, like a younger Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't spoil it for me, but I was wondering if that was like going to be part of the plot. Like, is he a younger version of Harrison?
I'm not going to say. You got to watch it. And we've gone way off topic here. Sorry, guys. We get back on the Event Horizon. I don't know if this tells you anything about the movie, but we constantly keep getting off topic and talking about better movies. So.
Yeah. Not only with the Babadook, because we had a 2-hour conversation about that. I mean.
That's true.
Yeah. So, anyways, they get a transmission from the horizon, and they're screaming in Latin that translates to "Save me."
Right. Always. There's always in a horror movie, especially in the 90s, like anything was in Latin that wanted to be scary.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about hell and dead languages, but they always seem to make that connection.
Well, I think it's sort of the same thing a lot of the time in horror movies or movies that have a gothic edge to it, like Daredevil or whatever. they always they always kind of connect to like the Catholic Church.
Of course. And that's what the inside of the Event Horizon looks like. The Event Horizon was designed to look like a cathedral on the inside.
Yeah.
So it's got all these like archways and these sort of like.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Like, I guess we can talk about that when we get to that point.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but I think the reason why like Catholicism kind of plays a role in the war movies is because like for so long, and I guess even now, that like the church was a big part of a lot of people's lives.
Of course, yeah.
They basically
people
like,
base their entire lives
the government
around it,
at a certain point.
Yeah.
So, but that's a whole other topic. I guess we'll talk about that if if a movie is appropriate for that kind of topic.
What's The Exorcist next? Talk about Catholicism.
That'd be a good one to do. I'd love to talk
You're
about The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jacob's Ladder. That'd be a good one too.
What is that?
Jacob's Ladder.
Ooh, I do love Jacob's Ladder. I'd watch that one next in a heartbeat.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the movie. So they arrive at the horizon and they try to find like the missing crew or some remnants about like what may have happened.
Right.
And Weir is reluctantly told to stay on the ship, which he didn't like. Now that I think about that, reading back that part of my notes, like maybe he had an ulterior motive.
Maybe so. I mean, to us, technically we're introduced to him before any other characters in the movie. So really, we as an audience are putting our trust onto him because we we know him because he's like the good guy in Jurassic Park, and then two, he's the first character we see. So we're kind of already attaching ourselves like to him as like being our protagonist. But maybe he's not. Maybe he's the bad guy.
Yeah,
maybe he certainly turns into the bad guy by the end.
Yeah, we can talk about that at some point. And they find like a zip log and a corpse of a crew member. It kind of tells you that some fucked up shit happened.
Right.
With another interesting thing, and I didn't really read a whole lot about this, but we can kind of like explore it. It's interesting that the horizon is actually in a deep freeze, which is interesting.
What do you mean?
So didn't Lawrence Fishburne say like it was frozen?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I guess they lost either cabin pressure at some point, or I guess after a certain amount of time, it succumbs to the cold of space and becomes basically a big ice tomb. Lawrence Fishburne has that line. It's like it's a tomb. Right. Like all of Lawrence Fishburne's lines are built for the trailer in this movie. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, so they're going to the ship. They find like I guess like the portal or like this big orb that acts like a portal or something like that.
Yes.
The crew member Justin gets sucked into the portal, which causes the Lewis and Clark to go crazy.
Sends out a big shockwave, which once they get onto the Event Horizon, there's a lot of like coolant leak stuff. So there's all that bad like liquid CGI.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he gets sucked into the portal and he goes somewhere, and then he comes back out. Like the Cooper, the I guess the military officer that's on board. I don't really know what his title was. Yeah, hang on 2 seconds. Let me pause real quick. Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. It's fine. Let me know what it is and I'll make it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Maggie had to borrow my headphones. They were in here. Sorry, we're back onto it. So yeah, like Cooper pulls Baby Bear out, which they have that weird nickname, Mama Bear and Baby Bear, for him. So she pulls Baby Bear out. He pulls Baby Bear out of the portal, and then bring him back to the ship, and he's just catatonic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
Which part? When they pull him out?
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember they pull him out. I don't remember.
He's like, I'm coming, baby bear.
Oh yeah. I got you.
He comes out, and then that's what sends like the shockwave all through. Also, everybody's smoking cigarettes on spaceships in this movie, and it doesn't make any sense. Like,
what was that?
like everybody is like, there's at least 3 or 4 people smoking cigarettes all the time in space in this movie, and that can't be good for like oxygen.
Oh yeah. And then you learned that Dr. Weir actually created an artificial black hole in order to fold time and space as a gateway, and that's what that giant orb was about. It's basically an artificial black hole.
And so our guy who went through Baby Bear, because I can't remember his name, so he falls through the black hole, and he ends up wherever the ship had been this past few years.
Right.
Which could or could not be hell, maybe.
Yeah. And then Justin gets pulled out of the black hole, like you said, and he's on a hospital bed, and that they're trying to like revive him. And the medic who's helping him out sees a vision of her son on a hospital bed, which is creepy.
Yes, and he has his legs. His legs are all kind of gnarled up and like.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like when I like watch movies for the first time, I don't notice every little detail like that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean like this is like it almost cuts away so fast you don't really notice it. Like
right.
It puts on his face and you kind of see a little bit of the legs and you catch her reaction.
Yeah, I think like when I start watching stuff multiple times is when I start noticing little details.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I was watching the Queen's Gambit, like I rewatched it like last week, and I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. That's pretty cool that they did that, or they cut away to that. And
yeah, this is great. I mean, that's the beauty of like you're watching movies and stuff. You start seeing like all the little bits that you missed the first time.
And I will plug Queen's Gambit as much as I can. Everybody needs to watch that series. It's amazing.
It's good. It's really good.
Then real quick, did Anna Taylor end up winning the Emmy for that? And this won the Golden Globe.
I don't remember if she won or if Kate Winslet may have won.
Oh yeah, for Mayor of East.
Yeah, Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Cause I love Kate Winslet too.
Yeah. Mayor of Easttown's good too. Mayor of Easttown's worth a watch.
Yeah. I just like Queen's Gambit because it's basically Rocky with chess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually what I wrote on my Letterboxd review.
Rocky with chess. I mean,
yeah, it's Rocky with chess. Enough said. That was literally my review on Letterboxd.
Right.
But anyways, I know we keep getting sidetracked. Yeah, I think we just cut the Event Horizon video here and just like talk about Queen's Gambit.
Sorry, this one became a Queen's Gambit video real quick. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry.
Let's make it halfway through.
So then Justin briefly wakes up and he says, "The dark."
The darkness. The darkness inside me. Just some weird, just some silly.
Yeah, maybe he meant the early 2000s rock band. Like maybe he predicted
the darkness. Maybe so.
Yeah. Like maybe he thought that like maybe like he heard like when he was in like this catatonic state, he heard like the demo of I believe in the thing called Love. And he just predicted that it was gonna be like this huge hit.
Or the darkness took their name from Event Horizon.
Ooh.
They really loved Event Horizon. They were like, the darkness, yeah, we should call ourselves that.
Or maybe they're just ripping off Ozzy. It's like
that's probably more likely.
Let's think of a cool name. Well, Ozzy's the Prince of Darkness. That is caught the Prince of, and we'll just call it Darkness.
We just call ourselves Darkness. Yeah.
And then Weir goes to fix the gateway artificial black hole thing, and he sees a vision of his wife again. He says, I'll be with me forever."
Yeah.
What he says.
And they play up this jump scare probably too many times. Is that her eyes are closed and she opens them and she has no eyes, and they do it like 4 or 5 times, and it's kind of unnerving the first time you see it, maybe the second, but by the third or fourth time, I'm like, I wanted something else to come out of them or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a tentacle or something else.
I mean,
Just-
that is pretty freaky that like you're in like some sort of like air vent thing trying to fix like a
but it all
pearl.
looks like, yeah, it all looks like computer like motherboards like all over the walls.
Yeah, you're like trying to fix a pearl to hell, and then like something popped out at you. But like, and then now it's like sort of another one of those alien kind of things that they're trying to like rip off. And honestly, like, I want to ask you a question. Like, what would be scarier? You went up to an air vent to fix something. What would be scarier for you to see, like an alien or like the dead corpse of a loved one?
Probably the
Both
dead
of those are
corpse.
pretty scary.
I mean, probably the dead corpse of a loved one. Like you expect to kind of find something alien in the ship. The more surprising thing would be someone who's dead who talks to you. And
Yeah,
you expect it
that'd be a lot
to be
weirder.
comfortable. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Every time I watch that scene, the alien when the alien pops out of the bed, I always and he does like that. I always goes and jazz hands.
Yep. Oh, no. It was super scary when I was like 12, and it's still freaky, but it's not as scary as it used to be.
Yeah. Fun fact, little known fact actually, you can actually see the xenomorph in the background of the Weirs Eyes movie, All That Jazz.
Oh, didn't know that. One of the backup dancers.
Yep. I've never seen that movie, but I'm assuming it's called
Oh,
All That Jazz,
yeah.
about jazz.
All the jazz. It's Alien 3, All That Jazz. I mean, that's the name of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, with that being said, we should make a sequel to All That Jazz.
All That Alien Jazz. All That Alien Jazz sounds kind of gross though.
Yeah. We could call it All That Jazz meets Alien 2 Electric Boogaloo.
All right, done.
Because that's a punchline that never get used. It's called a sequel to a movie, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. Was it Breakin' 2? Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep, Pulp Fiction to Electric Boogaloo.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing. But I know we keep going off topic.
We're way off topic.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this.
Yeah, no, this is great.
So then I know we haven't talked about him yet, but we get the Captain Miller character who's played by Lawrence Fishburne, which I named you Lawrence Fishburne on the Zoom chat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I'm Sam Neill. But you only guys won't see that. It's a fun.
I mean, clearly, because I'm going to survive this chat, and then you're probably going to end up with in sucked into the portal.
Yeah,
that's what you're implying, right? I'm going to make it out. Actually, both of us died in the movie. Sorry, spoilers, guys.
Oh, really? I thought.
Yeah, we all died.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I know people refer to this as like one of the few horror movies that the black guy survives, but it's the other black guy. It's not Fishburne.
Cooper survives. Yeah. Cooper and the very
the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That would be a line if in that movie it's Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this.
Oh, if Arnold Schwarzenegger is in this,
yeah, he'd be like
littered with one-liners.
Yeah, he'd be like, Cooper, you son of a bitch.
Cooper, you son of a bitch, you've been pushing pencils too long.
Captain Miller, why? Captain Miller, why did you send us to this hellish wasteland? But yeah. Anyway, Captain Miller sees a burning party coming up from the bottom of the gateway.
Which looks great. This looks great. Like I remember watching a behind the scenes thing when I was a kid, and this could be completely wrong, but that was it's a combination of animatronics.
Oh, really?
Like the body itself is like an animatronic that they lit on fire, and then they superimpose a face underneath it for like the eyes and everything. So I mean, most of that stuff holds up really well.
Interesting. I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like some more like dummy that they burnt.
Yeah, no, apparently it was it was like a fully functional animatronic that like rose out of the water that they had like gas pipes hooked to so they would like spew out fire. It's
Oh,
crazy.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then that kind of plays a bit later in the movie. And then Lieutenant Stark suggests to Miller that Horizon probably brought something from the portal, which is interesting.
Brought it back with it.
Back from the portals, yeah, sorry.
So that's the question then too. So if the portal, so it brought it back on the ship itself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Thought I had something. I got nothing. Keep going.
No,
You know, we could get off topic all day.
Yeah, if you think of it, then
Yeah.
then Justin goes into the airlock without a suit.
Which is the best part. Like the whole movie. The whole
this
movie
part grossed me out for sure.
is building to this part. Like this is the best sequence in like the entire movie. Yeah, it's freaky. And it works really well. And like you feel bad and scary and it feels very real. Yeah, it's great. Like this airlock sequence is worth the price of admission. You can almost turn it off after that point and not miss too much. But like, yeah, the
I
airlock.
kind of disagree. I think there's some other cool parts after this. Well, we'll get to them.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
So he goes into the airlock without the suit. And he talks about the horrible stuff in the other place.
Yeah.
Opens the airlock door and he starts bleeding from his eyes and mouth. This is really gross.
Oh, it's like the veins like shoot up through his
Oh
arm.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I kind of fixated on the eye bleeding.
Oh, the eye bleeding stuck with me as a kid. I remember that. That's like one of the few things I remember about this movie.
Stuff his eyeballs scare me.
Yeah.
Like poking eyeballs.
You don't even see his
Like
eyeballs though.
eyeballs.
The thing, like he's got his hands covered, but like he's like bleeding from like every orifice at this point.
Yeah, and it's not that there's another famous like eyeball bleeding scene is from a 1 hour photo.
Yeah, where he like holds his hands up and like.
Yeah, that actually like did freak me out the first time I saw that movie.
Oh, it's freaky.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then you kind of find out that from Miller that the Horizon knows about the crew member from the other ship that Miller was on, and he couldn't save this crew member, and using that against them, like he's trying to like taunt them a bit.
Right. So it makes me go back to like the baggage they bring onto the ship is what ultimately tries to kill him. You know what I mean? So like Sam Neill's wife kills him. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, let me get to this next note real quick, and I'll kind of get talking about theory. So we find out that the next that the transmission or actually translated to save yourself from hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it's a portal of hell.
Maybe. I don't know though. I guess it depends on if hell is a place within this movie. I mean, I think that's the implication is that they went to hell. But like what hell? Like whose hell?
Right.
Is it hell or the idea that hell of what the Christian faith believes or what the Catholic faith believes, or is it some sort of metaphysical universe that is full of just torture and pain that we just identify as hell? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Because of some of the line of dialogue, it kind of implies it's going to be that. If that is that. But another thing is, do you know how like some people don't necessarily believe hell as a physical place? It's more like hell is in your brain.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe with all the stuff coming up, especially with Captain Miller, with him regretting that he couldn't save that crew member, maybe that's a hell that he's reliving in his head constantly.
Of course. And like the lady whose son was there, who comes back later on too. Like she's having to be away from him and everything. So it's like the ship is using, if the ship is truly alive, then it's using.
It's alive.
Right. So it's using like their memories against them, or Is it just the space? It's like space itself is driven these people crazy. I don't know. They if the movie wants you to believe that there's a hell and that the ship brought hell back with it, but just to the part of the ship with the orb in it, not the lifeboat part where they
Right.
can talk to you later. Which
Here's
doesn't
my
make
question, and cause I'm not super familiar with the Doom series as well, but isn't that like a portal of hell kind of thing?
yes.
Okay, yeah. So like I guess they ripped off. Well, did you find that out in the original Doom from the 80s? Or
Maybe I can't remember. It's been a while since I've played the original Doom. I think you do. I think it's. I mean, I think it's always been set up that
yeah.
Space Marines go to hell, basically.
Yeah, I'm not a big gamer, as you can tell.
It's cool. It's cool. I really loved the second Doom when I was a kid, and I had it on PC. Did you freeze?
Yeah.
We back? Oh, we're back. Okay.
Did you notice that the main theme of Doom, is a ripoff of Master of Puppets? The main riff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ding, the ding, the ding, the ding, the ding.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a ripoff, but it sounds very similar.
Oh, it's very similar. Like I'm sure they probably were like, yeah, we're gonna rip that off.
Yeah.
We'll do something kind of different. Just kind of.
Yeah. So anyway, the medic gets another vision of her son, which leads to her death. Like I think isn't that the one where like she jumps off?
But she falls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty surprising. I remember watching it when I first time I watched it, and like not seeing it coming, like her fall. Although
You'll never see me coming.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, me and the Mandarin was behind this all along.
Son of a man. What is his name?
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley in space. I'd watch a movie called Ben Kingsley in space.
That'd be awesome. No, what it would be? It would be like Ben Kingsley like reenacting every like space movie ever, but like very Shakespearean.
As the different characters he's played in many movies, so he's Gandhi one of them.
That'd be funny.
Man.
Like, in space, nobody can hear you scream. My name is Gandhi.
Right.
Sorry, that is the name of my Indian friends.
You were doing a Ben Kingsley impression.
Yeah, I was doing a Ben King. Well, I can't remember if you sounded like that. I haven't seen Gandhi in years.
It's been a long time for me as well. Richard Attenborough directed Gandhi, by the way.
Oh, really?
Richard Attenborough, who is the old benefactor in Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Was
Took
the
me a
director
minute.
of Gandhi. Yeah.
Yeah, I always get him and his brother mixed up.
I don't even know what his brother's name is.
Yeah, I think it's like John Attenborough, and
yeah.
the voice of like Planet Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Weir gets more visits of his wife. We learned that he was never really there for her because he was busy with the Event Horizon, and she ended up killing herself, which is pretty in a pretty graphic way.
Yeah, and maybe it's one of the more graphic things in the movie, although it's not that super graphic. But they do the eye thing again, though.
Well,
they do the eye thing again in the scene where he hugs her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
She just opened her eyes again.
Yep, I was kind of distracted, if you know what I mean.
Oh, by Sam Neill's performance. That's what.
By
Sam Neill's performance. I think that's what you.
No, the other thing.
Oh, the production design, the amazing production design.
No, the other thing in the scene.
The story. The story is what distracted you from the. I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a code name for what I really meant.
Yes, the story, the big story, the big overarching story. You could almost say there's two plots going on at once.
Yeah, we'll just stick with that.
Yeah, the plots.
All right, if you didn't get my drift, there was a little bit of nudity in the scene, and that's what I was referring to.
Nudity? I didn't see any nudity.
What?
I didn't see any nudity. What are you talking about?
I mean, it was kind of gratuitous a bit,
A little bit. Although I remember
but I'm not complaining.
it is less gratuitous than I remember it when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, I was just like, whoa. But
Yeah.
now it feels a little more artful, although it's not super artful. But it doesn't.
I
It's
mean,
not as
it's
gratuitous as I
Paul
remember.
Thomas Anderson, or no, what's his name? What's this?
It's Paul W.S. Anderson, not to be
Okay.
Paul
Oh,
Thomas.
yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson is There Will Be Blood. So, anyways, then you learn that basically Weird gets possessed by the Sip and kills DJ. And he hangs him by like wire because it's very Hellraiser, which is really fucked up.
Yep. So Weird gets possessed. Is that what happens to him?
Yeah, that's what I think. Like he's sort of like the good guy in the beginning. Like he's trying to like kind of make things right. You know, like maybe to like himself, because he kind of messed up with this project, and then he's maybe like what you said, he's trying to find his wife in like in this hell.
Right.
So maybe he had good intentions, but like he turned out to be the villain.
Or was he bad the whole time?
I don't know.
That's the question we were asking.
Yeah, I honestly do not think he is.
I don't know. I think Sam Neill's evil. The man.
Really?
Sam Neill, the man, not the character in the movie. Like Sam Neill is an evil person.
In real life. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know the guy personally.
Have you ever met him?
No. He could be a bad guy.
He's pure evil.
But yeah, anyways, the reason I don't think he's necessarily the bad guy throughout the whole movie is because wouldn't you think he wouldn't be as freaked out, or not necessarily freaked out, but maybe he'd be more willing to go along with the business of his wife.
See, but that's the thing, is like, I think there's no turn for him in this. And maybe it's in one of the deleted scenes or something they cut from the movie. But to me, there's no turn for Sam Neill. Like he's equally like freaked out before a certain point, before he like backs off into the shadows. But then like he's equally like freaked out before then. But then all of a sudden he's just like, I'm gonna go hang out with my wife, and he just backs away into the shadows. And at no point is there like Sam Neill's that now evil, you know what I mean? Other than just him like backing away. Like I don't. That's the biggest flaw of the movie to me, is that there's no turn for Sam Neill. Like he's just like, oh, he's evil now.
Yeah, I honestly, personally, and this is kind of cool how we're kind of on opposite sides of this. I thought it was good. Except when it's not. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but I still think he had good intentions.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up like,
I agree. Yeah,
lucky some people, but like
he wants to understand. He wants to, like, the Event Horizon's his baby. He's given up everything. He's given up the relationship to his wife. He's given up his life. He's traveled halfway across the galaxy, or halfway across our galaxy, to find it again, to find this thing he built. But it turns out that it's evil now, and now he can't. Like there's an arc there that doesn't come across, that they kind of missed the boat on.
Right, and then I guess we can kind of talk about this in themes, but I think like with that pursuit, like it ultimately consumed them.
Maybe, yeah.
So, I think that's kind of like the turn. It was kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. But then again, now you get another one kind of situation of like, well, was Dr. Jekyll really good all the time, the whole time?
Was Dr. Hyde was Mr. Hyde always bad?
Yeah, I don't know.
We never see him all the time. I don't know. Maybe before the story started, Dr. Jekyll was real big dookie head. I don't know.
Then it reveals to Miller that Weir's eyes have been removed. Yeah. And that's where the rip-off Back to the Future line goes, where we're going, we don't need eyes. It was an ode to Back to the Future. Or a rip-off, however you want to see it.
I am home.
And then I guess you kind of learned that the ship changed after it went through the portal.
Yeah, so did it? So that's the question. I guess the main question I have is, Did the ship itself? Is the ship itself alive now? And if so, is it actively trying to kill it, or is there something on the ship, an entity of some sort that is actively trying to kill the crew? And they never really explain it. I don't guess they really have to, but like that's my question. It's like,
Yeah, I think it had to have been some outside force.
right.
Because you think about it, because here's the thing. It is the classic battle between like science and spirituality.
Right.
Where like this ship was built to fold space and time. Within within the boundaries of science. But then was doing that, they opened this portal to hell, like a supernatural force.
Right.
Is coming in. Kind of like The Exorcist, when Linda Blair's going to the hospital and like none of the tests are doing anything to her because you got this supernatural force.
Right. Yeah, but so my question is then, if the ship itself is possessed, then the ship itself would want self-preservation and would want to get back to other people so they can like possess other people or kill other people. So to me, it makes the most sense that there's just an evil entity on the ship that has nothing to do with any of the other. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know.
I mean, like an invisible force or something like that.
Right.
Interesting.
Ship. They keep saying they say it a couple times. The ship's alive. The ship's out to kill us. And I don't think the ship is. I think the ship has just got like a ghost inside of it.
Oh yeah, I think definitely there has to be some sort of outside force in the ship, and it knows. Maybe it's for something like a demon or the devil or something. I don't know. It's interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah. So then Miller tries to destroy the ship, and in the process, of course, Sam Neill's going to stop him. And he says a really scary line. He says, "Hell is only a word. The reality is much, much worse."
Right.
It's just like when I heard that line, my mind went so many places. Like, wow, like what could whatever beyond this, like what this black hole, and this portal that they opened up to hell, want to call it that, like,
right?
What's it like?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is like our word for hell isn't even exactly what that is. It's just what our feeble minds can attribute this like place of infinite suffering and pain to.
Yeah, and that's interesting because like I think, and that's why I don't like how certain Christians like get kind of crazy. Like this, like hell is like this, and it clearly says it in the Bible. It's the eternal torment, the lake of fire, and all that stuff. It's like, well, yeah, maybe the Bible talks about that, but like, have you ever died and went to hell?
No. And then, it does hell exist?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get. Yeah, like I said, I guess when we ever get to the Giga Flutter review, like we can always talk about that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
which I think is another thing that this movie kind of glosses over in some way.
Yeah, and that's why I want to get too deep into that whole aspect because the movie itself doesn't get too.
Exactly.
So this is kind of a movie that they don't really warrant.
They don't want to go down that road. They're just going to be like, we open a portal to someplace terrible, maybe hell. Don't question it too much. Don't think too hard about it.
Oh, well, I forgot about this line. But Sam Neill also says it's not your crew anymore. They belong to the ship, which is interesting.
Right. So like, is it like sort of like the Reagan possession from The Exorcist, where like there's 100 demons inside right now. Like this girl's mine. The Sal's gone bad.
Yeah, she's lost all of her free will.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's an interesting line. Again, we can explore that in themes. Not like this video hasn't gone on for too long.
I will say, since we're talking about lines real quick, my favorite line in the whole movie is they finally decode that message, and they see like what the ship sees, the guy's holding his eyes out and everything. And Lawrence Fishburne's reaction to it is, "We're leaving. We're getting out of here like immediately." It's just like there's no one like questioning it, going like, "Well, what does it all mean?" or anything. He's like, "We're going out of here."
Yeah, and then Miller blows up the horizon, killing himself and Weir.
Hmm.
Yeah, soul sacrifice thing. Then Lieutenant Stark and three other survivors go into cryo sleep, and then Stark hallucinates that there's a rescue team that come rescue her, and Stark hallucinates because they're like hallucinations, and you don't know if some of these things like Neil seeing his wife or the thing with Fishburne's crew member that died. You don't know if it's really real or hallucination, but he
Right,
basically but Stark sees a vision of like Neil as like one of the rescue crew members, which is a really cool way to end the movie.
Yeah, no, I think it for a movie like this, like it's fun, it's weird, it's like a fun little way to leave people walking out of the theater going like, what do you think, it was real or not? I don't know. It's all fun. Like this is a really fun, silly space horror movie. And it doesn't really try to be anything more than that. Like we talked a lot about deeper themes of what it could mean that the movie really isn't interested in explaining or going into. Like they set out to make like a quasi creepy movie about hell and space, and I think they achieved it for the most part.
Right. And speaking of themes, that's the next part we got. So let's talk about some themes in the movie. What kind of things did you pick up on? Themes did you pick up on?
I mean, I think it has a lot to do with regret and inner demons and personal hell. It's sort of the hell we carry with us. I think is
Right.
what they allude to a lot, and I think that's why all of their demons, so to speak, or the apparitions they see, are tied to their past lives or the past sins of their life. Like Sam Neill seeing his dead wife who committed suicide because he was never around, or like the crew member that Lawrence Fishburne abandoned, or like the lady's son. So I think ultimately that's what the movie is trying to say, is that hell, the far flung, like depressing, violent, sadistic place that is of books and legends, isn't real. Isn't as real as the inner anguish we carry with us at all times anyway.
Right. Yeah. I think going off to your point, I think the movie kind of talks about like the dangers of living too much in the past,
Mm-hmm.
not focusing on the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would imagine that a lot of these people are seeing these visions of things in the past. I would imagine that like even before they went on the horizon that they were constantly haunted by it.
Of course. I mean, pretty sure Sam Neill sees his wife before he gets on the horizon, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
a vision of her before then.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We even talked about that. And that's
Yeah.
the thing is like, yeah, like past happened. You can't really go back in time and change stuff.
Right.
It's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad to like look back at old memories, but to stay too focused on that and not move on from things.
Of course. But I mean, moving on is hard,
Oh yeah, for sure.
depending on the level of trauma that someone endured. It's
Yeah,
some
and I want the
people,
movie to explore that too.
right. I mean, some trauma is past moving on from. You just kind of have to learn to live with it.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, and it's kind of like some of the themes in the Bubble Duke as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like learning to live
It's like
with
this woman was so fixated on her husband's death is like, oh well, he's dead. There's nothing you can do about it now.
of course. But she's always left with the memory of who he was, of what they had, and now it's gone, and
Hmm.
how you deal with those feelings in the present. Like she almost kills her son because of it at one point, but then she learns to feed it and like keep it locked away. But it's always there. It's always
Right.
underneath the surface.
Then another theme I wrote down was the danger of letting work get in the way of your personal life. And I think that kind of, or not necessarily your personal life, that's in there in the movie. I think maybe like your ambitions get in the way of the better good.
Maybe I don't know though, but
Well, cause remember what we said was like maybe Sam Neill was trying to stay on the ship for the
right.
better good to kind of like get his wife back, or figure out
Maybe.
like where she went or whatever.
Right.
But that ultimately with the destruction would lead to everything that happened in the movie.
Right. Right.
You know
But
what I mean?
maybe
Like
also too,
it
you
was his
got
selfless ambition that led to this like his fellow crew members dying.
right, right. Well, but also too, so the lady whose son is still on planet Earth, who's still alive and out there, she gets like sucked away from him. Like,
Right.
did she have a call in that, or that's some of the things that they kind of gloss over? They probably shouldn't have. And so like she really misses him, and though that's what ultimately is her demise is her son. But was it a choice for her to go away? I think that should have been a choice that she had to make. Like, I have to go do this because it's for the greater good or something like that. It could have been a real nice way to like tie things back together, like thematically.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting. Well, even like that flashback to Neil's wife
Mm-hmm.
kind of brought that kind of theme up to me.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not.
I think they could have tied it together with the lady.
And again, it's not necessary. I'm not saying it's bad to be to work hard on in
Yeah.
in your goals, but like if you're gonna constantly let that get in the way of like important stuff,
Right. Or noticing that your wife has possibly depression or maybe a mental illness and it's driving her to suicidal thoughts. Like surely there was some signs that kind of presented themselves before then, Sam Neill. That's why I say Sam Neill is evil.
Ooh, I don't know. I think he was just more. I think in the beginning he was just more ambitious.
I don't know. Did you ever see The Omen 4?
No, I did not.
Sam Neill in it, and he's the grown-up Antichrist. He's Damien as an adult.
Really? I never seen any of the Omens.
You ever seen any of the Omens?
Nope. I tried about the first one. I got bored.
Do what now?
I heard about the original. I got bored.
The first one's good. The sequels.
Yeah, I think you gotta be in a certain mood to watch those. To watch the first one.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if you don't have any more themes, I guess we can get into final thoughts.
Sure. Yeah, we move into final thoughts.
So what are your final thoughts? Like overall, what did you think of the movie?
I remember really liking this movie in the 90s when I was like 13. No, I wasn't 13. I was probably like 10. No, 11, 12. When did this come out? 97? I was 12. I was 12 years old. It was a perfect movie for 12-year-old Eric to watch without his parents' supervision. It had space, which I loved at the time. It had horror, which I loved at the time. It had some nudity, which I loved at the time. So it was the perfect movie for like 12-year-old
What, you're saying you don't like nudity now?
No, I hate it now. It's terrible. What I'm saying is this movie hadn't aged quite as well as I hoped it would. I was hoping it aged like a fine wine. And so parts of it are a little creaky, parts of it don't fit together quite right. Some of the special effects don't look as great as they used to. But everyone's committed, like all the performances are solid for the most part, except for maybe Sam Neill's scream. But if you're looking for like a fun, like haunted house movie in space with some like gory moments, and you like sci-fi movies, give Forbidden a ride.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's fun, and it's over before you know it's done. It's like 97 minutes. It is, which is something to say about a movie like Interstellar, which is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, or something like that. So I'd much rather watch this than Interstellar any day of the week.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what mood I'm in.
Say again?
It kind of depends on like what mood.
Yeah.
Interstellar is a great movie. It's like a lot more intellectual.
I like the first 2 hours and 30 minutes of that movie. I hate the ending.
Oh really? When he's like in the
I hate the M. Night Shyamalan falls into the bookcase and he's like,
oh, I like that. I thought that was cool.
I hate it.
But I guess we can talk about that when we get to.
We can talk about the movie another time. Sorry to ruin Interstellar for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Well, I mean, it's not like a 5-year-old movie.
Yeah.
No, 6 or 7 is. Come on. I think he's 7.
It was at least
2014.
13? 14? Somewhere in there. It's at least 7 years old. You should have seen it by now.
So my final thoughts, Admiral Rising is a cool concept about a portal to hell in space, which is interesting. Sam Neill is great as the desperate but creepy Dr. Rear. I actually kind of thought he was a lot better here in Jurassic Park. He had a lot more to do, like emotionally wise.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, Sam Neill. I mean, I love Jurassic Park, and he's great in that movie as everybody else is. But Sam, he was kind of like I guess maybe like one note.
That's true.
Not a bad, like not. I'm not saying he was still, but he had like one emotion. Like there wasn't really like up and downs.
He doesn't. He doesn't like the only arc Sam Neill has in that movie is that he hates kids, and then by the end of the movie, he's okay with kids. Like that's his arc in the entire story, which can be summed up in a sentence.
Well, I mean, if you got Jeff freaking Goldblum in your movie,
it's true. Everyone, you can always be outshined by Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. I know we talked about like we want the like story beats to be fleshed out more. The other thing I wrote down is I wanted more tension with the crew. They didn't really get that throughout.
Right, and it's just the only tension really comes from Weir, because they have that scene where they hold the scalpel. The one guy flips out and holds the scalpel to his throat, and he threatens him. But other than that, like everybody's kind of getting along, and I guess they've been a crew together for a while. But like, I feel like you're right. I feel like they should be start turning on each other at a certain point. Sort of like the thing.
But if you go back to like Alien, with again, we keep comparing this to that. There was tension throughout that whole movie with the Nostromo's crew.
Right.
And like, cause everybody wanted different things out of it. And you can think about it, like everybody in that ship's crew were kind of selfish.
Yes.
Because Yapo Kono? Yeah, rest in peace, because he actually died recently.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, even talked about like a bonus situation at the very beginning of the movie.
Right.
It kind of sets up like, no, these people are kind of selfish in a way.
Yeah. And I think you actually hit on something. All the characters here, other than maybe Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, and then the lady whose son, like everybody else is kind of just there to get killed or to maybe survive. Like,
right.
They don't really have any arcs. They don't really have too much of a backstory. Like the one doctor who's smoking, like he's just there to translate Latin and then get strung up by Sam Neill. Like that's his only purpose in the movie.
Yeah, the Jason Isaac character.
Yeah.
It was funny. He was in The Patriot. He was the villain in that movie. And I thought for the longest time that was Ralph Fiennes. But then, funny because Isaacs was in Harry Potter. He was Draco Malfoy's dad. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, no, that was it. You hit it.
Yeah. I think he actually had a name.
Malfoy. We'll say Malfoy because I don't remember what his first name was either.
And then it's funny because he was under Voldemort, which is played by Ralph Fiennes. That's kind of funny.
Use the two. Also, Jolie Richardson, who is the one female crew member who survives, was in The Patriot as well.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about on IMDb. So, another segment I want to do just real quick that I thought of is this due for a remake?
You know what? Yes. I think you could remake Event Horizon and make it and dig into some of the problems we've kind of talked about, make it a little more relevant for like a today's audience, and just improve upon visual effects and everything. I mean, yeah, remake it.
Yeah, so here's my question with that. Do you want to see it as a movie or a miniseries or a show?
Either or, as long as they bring back Lawrence Fishburne.
Or Sam Weir or Sam Neill.
Or Sam Neill, yeah.
I kind of want to see it as a 3-part miniseries or 2-part.
Yeah.
Yeah, get into a lot more stuff.
Right. Well, you can flesh out your characters. The problem that we have is that none of these characters are fleshed out. You could really do that in like a longer form.
So let's go on to rating. What would you give this movie out of 5?
Out of 5, I would give it a solid 2.5 stars. Maybe a 3-star if you're feeling
the spooky spirit and you really want to see a horror scary movie, because it ticks all the boxes if you're looking for sci-fi, gory, Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne. You got it. That's all in the movie. So that it would 2.5 to 3 stars probably.
Yeah, I originally gave it a 3.5 star because it was really entertaining. But like now that we kind of talking about it, and the fact that it didn't really flesh out a lot of stuff, I'm gonna give it 3.
That's fair. That's fair. We're around the same place then.
Yeah. So that's our Event Horizon review. Thank you for voting on this. This was a real treat. I really like this movie quite a bit.
Thanks for voting on it. I love this movie.
I want to let you guys know. I want to let you guys know, and you included, Eric. If you think of any like horror, sci-fi, or even fantasy movie that you want us to possibly review, please send it my way on Messenger, and then I'll put it on the list for the random name generator.
So we're doing sci-fi horror next? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that
we're doing sci-fi horror next. Is that what you're saying?
no, it's just like any horror or sci-fi or fantasy movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So for our next couple of videos, I want to talk about real quick, because our next one is going to be Lord of the Rings. We're going to get away from horror and sci-fi a bit.
Fantasy. It's in the same realm. We're in the same
yeah, and that's like what the beyond part of this is like. It could be like comic books or like fantasy or whatever.
Right.
And I like horror and sci-fi. That's my favorite genre.
Same.
Yeah. So we're gonna review that. I was thinking about doing the same thing like I did in our Brad Bird review. When we go through the whole history of Lord of the Rings and like how it kind of
it would be like a 4-hour video, maybe longer.
Yeah, so we're just gonna and we're not gonna like we're not gonna break down each movie like this. We're just gonna talk about stuff we like about the movie and like talk about themes.
Are we watching the extended versions or the regular or the theatrical versions?
Well,
I will say I've never seen the extended versions.
Yeah, definitely watch the extended ones.
Okay.
The one who only seen like the regular cuts like a few times. I'll
really?
watch the extended. But
okay.
well, actually, in the extended cut for Two Towers, there's a flashback to Denethor, and his two sons, Boromir and Boromir.
Spoilers.
Yeah, so you find out that whole dynamic early on, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think in theoretical, I don't even think they say that Boromir was Boromir's brother. This is interesting.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So extended versions, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah. Next video after that is that we're gonna do another poll, but we're not gonna do the random name generator. We're gonna do between 4 Christmas horror movies. And me and you agreed on this. And we agreed that on the 4 ones that we want on the poll is gonna be, and these are classics. These are ones that you automatically think of when you think of Christmas horror. And that's going to be Black Christmas, Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Krampus. The one for 2005 or 2015.
15, yeah. Have you seen the? I mean, I assume you've seen Gremlins and probably Krampus. Have you seen Black Christmas? Or
I watched Black Christmas last year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that phone call scene really disturbed me.
Oh yeah,
there were words I did not expect to hear.
Especially for a movie made in the 70s in Canada.
Oh really? With Canada?
Yeah, Bob Clark. So it's Bob Clark. It's the guy who made Porky's and A Christmas Story.
Yeah, I remember he made that.
Right. But they're all Canadian productions.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you like A Christmas Story or A Christmas Story?
Do I like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I watch it every year.
I can't stand that movie.
I mean, it's
one of those movies you have to grow up on, and my mom didn't let me watch it.
Yeah, I watched a lot as a kid. The TNT used to do it. I still don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do 24 hours of it, so it would play on repeat for 24 hours straight.
Here's the thing: I don't hate the movie, I just hate how. I mean, the movies are fine. Like, I mean, I get the charm of it. It's just the fact that it's blown up.
Oh yeah.
And it's the greatest Christmas movie of all time. I'm like, well, what about like It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Carol?
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation, Elf.
Right. No, I mean there's some of the great Christmas movies. Yeah. The reason it did that is because the reason TNT used to show it all the time is because Ted Turner got the rights to it early on before it.
Oh,
And then eventually it slowly started getting like this following on VHS and then through the showings on TNT. Eventually like people were like, yeah, I watch it every year. And then
was Ted Turner the same guy that wanted to colorize black and white movies?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's something Ted Turner would do.
Yeah, and it was funny. And it was funny. I think George Lucas was against that.
I believe it.
Because he was like, well, I mean, you can't really mess with like classic movies. And then he goes into like Star Wars and like add his stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they've been
critical, George.
Yeah. No, I mean they've been colorizing movies for years and years and years. There's like some weird, like Night of the Living Dead colorized versions out there.
Yeah. There's certain movies that I can't like a lot. Like I think any horror movie or sci-fi movie that was in black and white does not need to be colorized.
Yeah, probably not. Especially or in like any sort of like film noir or anything like that uses heavy shadow.
Yeah, that's the whole point of film noir. It's about dark,
right?
Dark criminal underworld.
You go in and start putting like skin tones on people, and it starts getting like
I mean, I had like It's a Wonderful Life colorized. Like I had the version when it's colorized and then black and white, but like
it's
I don't mind watching it colorized.
It's a fun idea to watch occasionally, but I don't ever want to like go like this is the preferred version.
Yeah,
A Wonderful Life.
But anyways, guys, this video is kind of
sorry to go off another tangent. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in our Event Horizon review. I'll get that poll up for the Christmas horror movies. You have actually until the end of this month to vote. So when December 1st hits, then no other votes count. So we need time to like actually watch the movie. Yeah. So anyways, guys, this has been Drew from Horror, Sci-Fi, and Beyond. Over and out. Bye.